I'm working on a competition where I have the possibility of many teams qualifying by way of various pathways. And so the opportunity for potential duplicates is really high, meaning that as I tested in a previous video, I need to figure out how to set a priority list that's going to assure that I've got enough teams in my final competition. And in so doing, I want to see how it handles trying to select teams that lost a semifinal. So that's what we're going to test. Is we're essentially going to make two competitions, both that are cup competitions, and figure out if we can have semifinalists enter a third final competition that is a league stage. So 4 teams. So we'll have for eight total teams involved in tournaments 0 and 1. No. Sorry, my apologies. Let me do this again. Tournament 0 is going to be the final. So tournament 1 and tournament 2, each one will have 4 teams in it. So 8 total teams, 4 and 4, and then we'll have the 2 semifinal losers from each competition qualify to tournament 0. That's the idea. Let's get going. Also, this will be a good demonstration for setting up a competition from scratch because I'm going to start with a completely new blank database right from scratch. And let's go to the database. Let's go to competitions. I'm going to add tournament 0, which will be our final. Let's give it prestige of 10. Then we'll I already did it. Tournament 1, which is going to be the cup competition 1. And then let's add tournament 2, tournament 2, tournament 2, and that'll have a reputation of 1. Okay, then we want to add international rules. Let's add 1 competition for now, and we'll make this competition tournament 1. Okay? 4 teams in the competition, international qualifiers. Ooh, I don't want to do that. International finals is fine. Year interval 1. Number of teams in the competition 4. We'll do the draw date on 1/1/2000. We shouldn't need to mess with that. Add any 4 teams for now. Match rules we can ignore. Discipline we can ignore. Stages we'll add a knockout round. It's a knockout stage, if you will. Knockout stage. Stage name is going to be final stage. Number of teams starting at this stage is 4. Number of matches, I think, is 2. We talked about this before. The difference between number of games and number of matches. I don't remember. Number of games is number of legs. Number of matches is total number of competitions. Because I could hypothetically do something where it's like there are 8 teams starting. Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, we'll do that another time. That's an interesting test. What happens if I play with these? I think it just fails. Okay, so we're drawing this on January 1st. Let me change that, actually. Let's draw it on the 2nd of January. I like to start on the 1st and draw on the 2nd. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to test one more additional thing. I've been wanting to test this. Let's draw this on January 31st, because then I want to see if it's going to allow me to play this match on February 1st. Because it always complains about you need to have a month between, but I don't know how it's calculating that month. And I've seen it let me do it in less than 30 days. So I'm interested. We'll seed by world ranking. I think this is done. So let me save as, Losers of semi-test. Okay, let's see what happens when we test. You need at least a month between the draw date and the first match of the international competition. But what's interesting about that? Oh, no. Hold on. That's for January 2nd. Let's do February 1st and see if it lets us do that. Test number 1. Can I get away with doing it just because it's a different month? You must have at least a month. Okay, I can't get away with it. 31st. But you know what's interesting is, like, I bet you if I put the 28th here, it'll be fine. Let's find out. Yeah, see? So what is it considering a month? What happens if I put the 25th? You need at least a month. How is it figuring out what a month is? Let's put this draw date on the 26th of January. So 26th of January to the 2nd of February, 1st of February. That's fine. 25th of February, sorry. 26th, 27th. 28th. Weird. It lets me keep going. 30th. Interesting. Okay, Google. How many days are between January the 30th and February the 25th?
There are two ways to answer this depending on how you interpret between. Calendar difference, days to add. There are 26 days between January 30th and February 25th. For example, January 30th plus 26 days equals February 25th. Strictly between, excluding both dates, there are 25 days entirely between them, January 31st, plus the first 24 days of February.
Okay, current hypothesis is 26 days works. So what happens if I stop hitting the wrong button? Database changes. No. Test comp. No. International rules. Here we go. Let's draw this on January 2nd and then try to play the competition on January the 26th. It should say no by way of my hypothesis because that's 25 days. It says no. But what happens if I make it 26? It doesn't like that. $27. I've been wanting to check this out, so pardon my curiosity. Interesting. 130, 29 days. So in that case, 29 days apart worked, but we've been able to get it to work with as few as 26. I think there are different rules depending on whether it is within month or across month. 29 would make sense within month because then if it's at least 29 days apart when the months match, then you are sure that you haven't accidentally scheduled it entirely within February. Let me test this really quickly. I bet you there's no way to schedule it entirely within February. That's what they're worried about. Don't merge. Save. Test. Yep, can't do it entirely within February. But if you're within a shorter month, like June, you will be able to do it. Their rule was just that you needed time, I guess, to set up the tournament, make sure that we were. Hold on, let's do. 28 should fail, right? Based on our January test a second ago. So let's test that. 28 fails. 29 should pass. The rule is if you are within month, you need at least 29 days. If you are across months, you need 26 days. Let me test that. Um, okay, Google. What is July the 28th plus 26 days?
July 28th plus 26 days is August 23rd. Here is how the days break down. There are 3 days remaining in July after the 28th, July 29th, 30, and 31. The remaining 23 days take you to August 23rd.
So that ended up being 28 days. Within month, 29 days. Across month, 28 days. And there are special rules for February. So they've really kind of coded that in an interesting way. Anyway, all that's to say, I think in all circumstances, if you have 29 days between, you're good. Let me make this reasonable now. Let's go back to, I like to use a second here. I wouldn't mind beginning to put this on the 30th. That should be 29 days. We should be good. International rules are valid. Sweet. All right, I'm glad we did that test. 29 days always works. Convert to advanced rules. Yeah, let's convert to advanced rules. Let's just test again to see if there's anything I need to fix at the onset. Okay, beautiful. So, where were we at? So we've got a list with 2 entrants in it. In the international all right, I wanted to show this as well. So when you look at the competition screen and it's completely blank like this, as far as I can tell, it's just kind of a RAM issue. So unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of close and reload Losers of Semi-Test. I've been hogging this machine today, so that's why that's happening, I think. But I've been wanting to demonstrate that issue, so let's see. Load editor data. What did we call this? Loser of semi-test. Here we are. Okay, so advanced rules. Again, we have 2 entrants here. If we go to competitions, now it appears. You just had to reload it. We're going to need 3 total competitions entered. Tournament 2. Yoink. And tournament 0. Yoink. Move up. 0, 1, 2. Okay. So that's it for international competitions, just telling it which competitions to load. I want to build an entire semifinal competition before I do anything else. I would like it to appear a year before for testing purposes. So I'm going to set this up as 1999 start. That's weird. Okay. Stages. I don't like to name my stages numbers. I like to name them with some sort of text so that there's some differentiation. All that looks fine. Let's get random national team 4. Okay, that's fine. You know what? For testing purposes, this is going to be a little easier if I get them from different places. So let's get them from Asia. And then in the other competition, I'll get them from Africa. Very good. Rounds. We have a final stage. That's fine. That's fine. You can just go to penalties. Number of team. Hold on a minute. Interesting. Okay, so what this is doing now is it would technically play um, two matches, but it wouldn't go anywhere. So you would end up with two winners here, kind of like you get with the FIFA International, like the FIFA World Cup qualifying international interconfederations playoffs. There's like two pathways, or the old UEFA playoffs. There was like five pathways, four pathways. That's kind of the way that this works, where there's a bunch of finals in your final stage, which is obviously not what we want. So for the rounds, I'm going to call this semifinal. We're going to have four teams. Four teams are added to this section. Number of matches is two. Number of legs is zero. Don't worry about it. Seeded draw is fine. I'm being anal and even bothering with this. That's good. And then let's duplicate that one time. And we'll have a final competition with two teams. No teams are added in this stage. One match is played. One leg is played. We're good there. You don't actually need a seeded draw because it's the final. We need to mess with the dates. So we're going to play our first match on. See, I hate that it does this fixture date thing. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. Let's go with. We'll play this on January the 30th of 1999 so we could test. Um, you don't actually have to change the time or anything like that. It'll play fine. I'm just learning to be a little bit more diligent about some of those values as I'm going through. I just go ahead and fix them when I see them. So we'll play this, let's see, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd. We'll play it on Groundhog's Day, 3 days later. A Wednesday final, no less. And we'll do that at 1930 playoffs. Okay. I don't want these qualified teams in here, and we should be good. So tournament one should work fine. Okay. Now I want to duplicate tournament one time. And I'm going to do that because I want to add tournament 2. Exact same format, exact same structure, no problems at all. The only change is going to be that I want African teams instead of Asian. Okay. Then I guess I can steal the bones of this, but I'm going to redesign a lot of it. So now we'll go to tournament 1, this entry, make this tournament 0. Okay. So what we've got in our list, we've got a international competitions entry telling us we've got 3 competitions, and we got a tournament 0, 1, 2. These 2 are going to be our qualifiers, and then this will be our final. So going in here, I want this to set up a little bit after that last competition finishes, which is Groundhog's Day. So we'll set it up for, how about the 3rd of February to be safe, of 1999. That's fine. Season update day for internationals, I think I've mentioned before, I like to always use the 31st of December. It's just a preference. I also kind of like to do these year offsets January to December, just so everything is contained within a calendar year. Just me being futsy. Futsy dutsy. Okay. Tournament 0. There we go. So now we need to change these stages because this is going to be a league stage so we can see pretty clearly who joins. In general, I don't like to put the number of teams. I like to leave that blank so I can just see who it grabs. We might do it for just a second, but we want to get qualified teams from stage. And what stage do we want to get them from? I want to get 2 from stage 0 of tournament 0. No, this is not right. I can't do qualified teams from stage because notice there is no round option here. I could do top and bottom positions if it was a league stage, but it's not a league stage. So what I'm going to have to do instead, this is part of what I wanted to test. I'm glad we're looking at this. What I have to do instead is get cup round teams. But what's interesting here is I don't think it's going to let me. Oh, here. Under team, I got losing team. So now look at it. We got get cup round teams, get me the losing team, get me 2 losing teams, and get me the losing teams from the semifinal of competition tournament 1 from the semifinal of stage 0 in tournament 1. I think that's going to work. I think that's how we're going to do this. Let's duplicate it one more time. This time we'll get tournament 2's semifinal losers. In the league stage, we'll do. Actually, if we do 0 rounds, because remember that defaults to 1, then it won't play any matches and it won't complain to me about dates. So that'll be lovely. So I think we're ready. Let me test here. So the thing that I want to test, because I'm fairly sure this is going to work, I want to know if it is predictable which of the 2 semifinalists it's going to get. Um, you could also get it to give you the third place team if you have a third place game. In my competition, I hate third place games, but I suppose if you're doing it as a qualifier, then maybe it could be valuable. I would love to find another option if at all possible. I need to switch OBS over so you can see what we're looking at here, which at the moment is just splash screens. We'll get there. It's coming. Sports Interactive, I beg of you, give developers or editors a way to get past the splash screens a little faster. I beg of you. Got to change my database entries here. Remove all. What did I call this? Losers of semi-test. There we go. Advanced setup career. If we start in Finland like I usually do, then it should have already played these by the time it loads in. Because they're set to play in 1999, so we'll be able to see them start in played in 2025. I presume. We'll see. We're gonna start unemployed. my career. So I think the best place to start here is to find tournament 0 and see who qualified. We got South Sudan, Botswana, Chinese Taipei, and Nepal. That's 2 African, 2 Asian. Um, Gotta remember those. So South Sudan, Botswana, Chinese Taipei, Nepal. Now, if we go to the semifinal tree, Chinese Taipei lost, Nepal lost. There we go. We got our second place from each of those games. Nicely done. Then let's just confirm. Tournament 2, second place finisher. Semifinal tree, South Sudan and Botswana lost. So there we go. 9-0 Ivory Coast. Come on, man. Chill out. All right, there you go. So that proves it. That's how we do that. See ya.